Based on the reading, I am opposed to the death penalty. I already had a slight opposition against the death penalty before reading this article, but this article made my position more solid. In the for argument for the death penalty, the article states that lex talionis is one of the main reasons for keeping the death penalty. This is also realized when you see that the majority of cases where people get the death penalty are in retribution for murders. However, this policy was implemented almost 4,000 years ago, and if we wish to move forward as a human race, I believe that we must adopt less harsh policies. When the article states that God approves this punishment in Christianity, this statement is false, as the Old Testament, which the article quotes scripture from, is what Jewish people study. Christianity is mainly based on the New Testament, in which the old eye for an eye principle is abolished, and Christians are commanded to love one another, even if their neighbor does wrong to them. The for argument, revolving around justice for victims' families, also falls under this same category, as victims' families who wish for the death penalty simply want that murderer or other serious offender to die just like their family member may have died. While this is understandable, it is primal at best for a species that is supposed to be at the top of the food chain. A common misconception surrounding the death penalty is that it is more cost efficient to kill the offender rather than keep them housed for life. In the article, this is proven to be false. If the for argument is for victims and their families, you can make the argument that imprisoning an offender for life checks all of the boxes except for actually murdering them. I believe that two wrongs do not make a right, and this is a stark example of that. A big reason I am against the death penalty is because of the wrongful convictions and ethical issues that have surrounded the death penalty since its inception in the United States. People of color, namely black men, have been at the forefront of these ethical issues. While more white people are executed than black people experience disproportionate rates of execution compared to their population, given that African Americans represent only about 13% of the U.S. population, according to the 2016 census. According to this, adding to this, the execution of black defendants when the victim was white occurs at higher rates than the execution of white defendants when the victim was black. This represents a bias of execution for interracial murders. Recent research has shown a more equal representation of white people and black people on death row. In a study of capital punishment in 2016, white death row inmates comprised 55% of the population, while black death row inmates comprised 42% of the population. This further points to the overrepresentation of blacks in capital punishment. Another area of discrimination is poverty. Over 90% of death row inmates are unable to afford an attorney. With this inability to hire an attorney, their cases may be subject to ineffective counsel, which usually results in the wrongful conviction and death sentence of an innocent person, as depicted in the popular movie Just Mercy.